Balochistan, land of rugged mountains, tribal loyalties, and ancient codes of honor, has never been just a province. It is a world unto itself. For centuries, the Baloch tribes existed in decentralized but deeply rooted networks of allegiance. As early as the 12th century, figures like Mir Jalal Khan formed confederacies, and later Mir Chakar Rind expanded his power base across the region. In 1666, Mir Ahmad Khan laid the foundation of the Khanate of Kalat, creating a monarchy that at its peak stretched from Kirman in the west to Karachi in the south. Kalat became the beating heart of Baloch identity. By the 19th century, as British colonial interests clashed with Russia in Central Asia, Balochistan became part of the Great Game. In 1839, British forces intervened in Kalat, executing Mahrang Khan II and imposing indirect rule through the Sandaman system. The Treaty of Kalat in 1876 formalized this arrangement, recognizing Kalat as a princely state under British suzerainty. Yet, the Baloch never fully surrendered their autonomy. Tribal pride and resistance remained unbroken. The 1920s and 1930s saw the rise of Baloch political consciousness. Educated leaders formed organizations like the Anjuman-e-Ittihad Balochan va Balochistan, demanding greater autonomy from the British. The real turning point came in 1937 with the formation of the Kalat State National Party, the KSNP, led by Ghaus Bakhsh Bazinjo, Mir Gul Khan Nasir and others. They called for full independence for Balochistan and an end to British control. These movements were swiftly suppressed. The KSNP was banned in 1939, its leaders exiled or imprisoned. Yet the seeds of nationalism had been sown. When the British withdrew in 1947, the state of Kalat declared independence on August 11th, hoping to remain sovereign. Kalat formed its own bicameral parliament. A standstill agreement was signed with Pakistan's founder Muhammad Ali Jinnah, recognizing the state's autonomy temporarily. But soon, pressure mounted. Pakistan signed an accession agreement with Kalat's feudatory states, Makran, Kharan, and Lasbela, isolating Kalat. On March 27, 1948, the Khan of Kalat signed the Instrument of Accession. Some accounts say he acted under duress. The very next month, the Khan's brother, Prince Abdul Karim, rejected the accession and led the first Baloch uprising from the hills of Afghanistan. Though unsuccessful, this marked the beginning of organized Baloch resistance, a movement that would haunt the state for decades. In 1955, Pakistan introduced a one-unit scheme, merging West Pakistan's provinces into a single administrative unit. For the Baloch, it felt like erasure. Their identity, hard-won autonomy, and tribal heritage was sidelined. Tensions erupted in 1958 when the government dismissed and arrested the Khan of Kalat. Nawab Nawroz Khan, a tribal leader, led a second armed rebellion. The state responded with force. His sons and companions were captured and executed. The message was clear: dissent would be crushed. In 1973, Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto dismissed the elected Baloch government, accusing it of colluding with Iraq and stockpiling weapons. What followed was the bloodiest insurgency in Baloch history. Over 55,000 Baloch fighters took up arms. Pakistan deployed 80,000 troops. Iran, fearing a spillover into its own restive Sistan or Balochistan region, provided gunship helicopters and pilots to Pakistan. The war was brutal. Entire villages were bombed. Thousands died. The insurgency was crushed by 1977, but it radicalized a generation and deepened the mistrust between the Baloch and Islamabad. The 1980s brought General Ziaul Haq's dictatorship, which sought to co-opt or exile nationalist leaders. Balochistan remained politically marginalized and economically neglected. Even with the return of democracy in the 1990s, promises were broken. Basic services, education, healthcare, and clean water remained elusive. Baloch natural resources, especially gas, fueled development in Punjab and Sindh, while the people of Balochistan remained poor. This economic exclusion paved the way for a new kind of militancy: urban, educated, and ideological. The assassination of Nawab Akbar Bugti in 2006 during a military operation under General Pervez Musharraf was a watershed moment. Bugti, a former governor and chief minister, had turned against the state after repeated broken promises. His death sparked a new wave of rebellion. Unlike previous tribal uprisings, this one was led by educated Baloch youth, doctors, engineers, and university students. Groups like the Baloch Liberation Army, Baloch Liberation Front, and United Baloch Army gained ground. Their attacks became sophisticated, targeting military convoys, gas pipelines, and Chinese workers. The launch of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor (CPEC) in 2015 brought massive infrastructure investment, especially in Gwadar port. Pakistan saw this as a leap towards prosperity. But for many Baloch, it was another phase of resource extraction without consent. Locals were displaced, jobs went to outsiders. The military's presence expanded. In retaliation, Baloch militants began targeting Chinese workers. Pakistan responded by raising a special security division, further militarizing the province. What Islamabad portrayed as development, many Baloch experienced as occupation. Perhaps the most harrowing aspect of this conflict is the enforced disappearances. For over 2 decades, Baloch families have been searching for sons, daughters, brothers, and fathers who vanished without a trace. Groups like the Voice for Baloch Missing Persons staged daily protests in Quetta, holding photographs of the disappeared. Rights groups like Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch have documented extrajudicial killings and torture. The Pakistani state denies systematic abuse, but for many Baloch, these disappearances are the sharpest edge of repression, fueling further radicalization. Balochistan's location has always drawn international attention. During the Cold War, it was a strategic zone for Western intelligence operations. But these bars never supported Baloch independence. Instead, countries like Iran, which feared its own Baloch population, actively helped Pakistan suppress rebellions. During the 1973 insurgency, Iran provided military hardware and personnel. In recent years, Pakistan has accused India of covertly supporting Baloch militants, a claim India neither confirms nor denies. When Narendra Modi referenced Balochistan in a 2016 speech, it was seen as an unprecedented diplomatic shot across the bow. The new wave of insurgents is educated, digitally savvy, and less reliant on tribal hierarchies. Their war is waged both in the battlefield and online. Social media campaigns highlight missing persons and military abuses. Figures like Mahrang Baloch, who peacefully advocate for rights, have been harassed, arrested, or labeled as extremists. Taliban's return to power in neighboring Afghanistan in 2021 has further complicated the region. Weapons, ideology, and fighters cross porous borders. BLA has evolved into a sophisticated insurgency, targeting infrastructure, hijacking trains, and evading modern surveillance. The Baloch question is not just a security problem, it is a crisis of identity, justice, and dignity. From the Khanate of Kalat to the battlefields of Dera Bugti, the Baloch have repeatedly asked the same question: do we belong? For 75 years, they have been caught between two narratives: Islamabad's emphasis on unity and sovereignty, and Balochistan's cry for autonomy, equality, and respect. Unless Pakistan moves beyond coercion towards genuine inclusion, and unless the world listens beyond headlines of terrorism, the conflict will persist. Because for the Baloch, the war is not just about land, It is about being seen, heard, and remembered.